It is a Friday night on 1620 The Zone. Don't adjust your dial. It is After Hours. Jimmy Allen, John Schreiner makes his triumphant return to the After Hours Lounge tonight.
I'm that guy that shows up for one day of work.
Dan Campion is the other guy that's been here all 5 days, pounding the keyboard away.
Darn tootin'.
You were here every day this week, weren't you?
Yes, I
both
was.
You slackers just keep taking days off like it's summer or something. Don't forget to punch in the night shift with the rest of us tonight and leave us a comment on YouTube or on Twitter. We'll talk about anything that we're talking about tonight, including Colorado's AD wants Nebraska in an annual rivalry. Do we? We'll debate at 6:15. Former BYU quarterback had sex. Now he's got to leave his school. We'll talk about that at 6:30. We'll buy or sell on several different topics tonight, including all the things that John Schreiner missed from having a week off of work. And then NIL Go. Is it already failing college athletes? We'll debate at 7:30. 402-951-1620 is how you can get a hold of the show. You can also follow us on Twitter at After Hours 1620 as well. Yet another bill has been introduced.
No.
For NIL in trying to kind of put a wrangle on things that are going on. The bill includes 3 elements that the NCAA has lobbied for: antitrust protections, preemption of state laws that regulate name, image, and likeness payments, and a section that prevents athletes from becoming employees of the schools. And now that last one is the most intriguing to me because this is clearly an attempt to not give college athletes benefits.
Yeah, clearly.
So it's like, yeah, we'll give you some money. We're not paying for health insurance outside of your sport. We're not giving you a 401k.
Oh, if you get injured, that's your fault.
And if you're hurt, good luck. We hope it works out for you. But the bill's main goal is to set a national standard for NIL payments. And I think the most intriguing thing about all of this is how much people in power, people not in power, people in the know, people not in the know have said it's going to take government involvement to get this fixed. And the government is just going, no, thank you.
Sort it out.
Good luck. Fight amongst yourselves. We'll jump in if we absolutely have to, but we have no intentions of doing that anytime soon. But it also includes a section that purports to protect Olympic programs that some are threatened because of increased funding that will go to football and basketball and the other sports. But this bill also asked the schools who earn more than $250,000 to offer at least 16 sports programs. That language mirrors the rule already in effect by the NCAA's top-tier FBS schools. So essentially, we're going to keep wrestling and gymnastics and these other sports that are going to benefit
hockey,
that are going to benefit women's water polo from the football money that are coming in, but make sure that we're still putting the students that come here to do athletics at the forefront, despite maybe losing money for the schools, which I think is, if Title IX is going to be kind of pushed to the side, which kind of feels like that's already happened, I think this is really important for the rest of these sports to still be included and have a seat at the table.
Yeah, when I started reading about this today and over the past couple of days as the news was coming out, I just couldn't help but think about the NCAA turning from Anakin Skywalker into Darth Vader. Like, honestly, they're asking the government not play by the rules, right? They want protection from antitrust law. Like, they want the government to say, yes, we have a law, you don't have to obey it.
Well, which is essentially asking them to reverse what the Supreme Court ruled. It's not even necessarily that they don't want to pay by it. They want to go, hey, can you just pretend like that didn't happen, swipe it under the rug? We'd really appreciate it, because it screwed up the entire way we do business.
So that's bad enough to say, like, yeah, can we just not do the rules? Can we just not do those? And then to say, like, if a state wants to regulate something as far as commerce in the borders of their state, they want the government to say, yeah, NCAA doesn't play by those rules.
Listen, I think that's a necessity. I get what you're saying, but you almost have to, in a sense.
You don't, because look, professional franchises are in states where they don't have state income tax, and they are in states where they do have state income tax.
Right.
And nobody's saying, like, well, yeah, but the NFL, like, you NFL players, if one person has to abide by no income tax, then everybody does. Like, the NFL doesn't get that provision. The NBA doesn't.
The NFL also has 32 teams.
Fine.
We are now talking about 130 teams in some sports, 300 teams in other sports that have to be regulated at the same level. That's almost impossible. And the only way to do that is to, I think this is the reason for the opt-in, because if you opt in, you got to follow by the rules. You want to get paid? All right, this is how it's going to go. Which, again, is an option of the school, not the players.
Yeah.
I don't see how any of this gets done without a collective bargaining agreement, because it's one thing to come out and say,
Jimmy, if they're not employees, they have no collective to bargain from.
Which makes it insane to me that they're refusing to do this, that they're refusing to make them employees. Because that feels like that would fix everything.
That one is the one that is truly nefarious. Like the other ones are like villain stuff. This one is like,
evil.
Ooh, gross.
Yeah.
Like why? Because what it does is if they're not employees, they can't bargain. If they're not employees, they're not entitled to benefits. If they're not employees, they're not entitled to employee protections under the law, which is like, it's so nasty to try and get the government to say that you cannot be an employee. That is dirty work right there.
And asking them to do so. Like, hey, we really want to keep treating. And the other thing is, it's one thing if this is a discussion about high school athletes and minors. There's some implications there to protect them to do that.
Minors are a different category.
These are adults
of people. Right.
Every one of these people is an adult that is of working age. So there's literally no reason other than you just want to keep more money in your pocket to do this.
Yeah, it's honestly villainous. I mean, as much as we talk about how the NCAA doesn't have what's best for the athletes at heart, like this is just another 3 checks in that column.
Well, and I think it's really important to point out that we are less than a year removed, or no, I guess it'd be less than 2 years removed from the Big Ten getting a 7-year, $7 billion media rights deal with Fox, CBS, and NBC. The Big Ten is not getting $7 billion without football on the field.
Yeah.
So that tells you
not at all.
That tells you that, okay, we're giving these athletes $20.5 million per school, and yes, football's getting the majority of them, but the schools themselves are dividing, and this is just one conference, is dividing up $7 billion.
Yeah.
So the people that are generating the revenue are not employees, and they're getting still a fraction of the money.
Yeah.
And here's my question. If the Big Ten is getting $7 billion, and let's just say over the 1 year, that's $1 billion, right? If that's the case, why are these schools struggling with the house settlement money? Doesn't that seem like
they're spending a lot?
I was going to say and I don't want to hear the Olympic sport argument. I don't want to hear
it's not that.
I don't want to hear that softball is losing money.
Honestly, like the budgets for the big football programs are like they would make your head spin.
And I know, listen, it costs a lot to maintain Memorial Stadium. I get that. That new screen that they put in, that's expensive. Husker Vision upgrades, that's expensive. They just upgraded the PA, that's expensive. They want to remodel the South Stadium, that's going to cost a pretty penny.
The Championship Center is like a luxury spa.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And you've done all the updates off this, and obviously everything with the Osborne complex and all
then
that.
You have to have employees to maintain all that stuff and to staff it and to be there. Like the budget is immense.
So,
and
go ahead, sorry.
So when you're asking about why are they struggling with the house settlement stuff, it's about future. It's not about right now. It's about the future, and how can they keep up with the Joneses and keep improving on all this stuff and get the latest technology every time it becomes available when they have to pay out all this money to former players. So I think that's the bigger concern than right now that they have a $7 billion media contract. It's about the future.
That's $55.5 million every year.
Per school.
Yeah. Just from the media rights. That's not including ticket sales.
Well,
that's not including
championship
concessions.
Payouts.
That's not including bowl appearances, bowl money, championship payouts, what you're bringing in from the NCAA tournament, men's and women's.
It's a lot. what did they 60? I was like 60 point something million that was distributed to Big Ten schools last year.
55.5. That's what it would be with the new TV. So yes. So around that, just under that,
with
amount.
The bonuses and everything. It was, I think it was over 60.5 million.
So that's just the money just from the TV rights deal, not even with that money included into it. And you're telling me that we could only give them a sliver of that money?
Yeah.
Not even half, by the way, for the entire. This is basically what you're getting for football.
Yep.
And we're giving all the athletes less than half of that money. And we're asking the NCAA and we're asking the United States government to look these kids in the eyes and tell them, that's the law, kid. Don't know what to tell you.
But they're asking the government to look them in the eye and say, yes, that's the law, but your parent doesn't have to play by the law.
Yeah.
Like they want an exemption from the law, which is, to me, absolutely disgusting to even ask for. Like, honestly, if you're asking for an exemption from a law, like, that's gross.
But I think it's important to point out, this is the first ask, right? So this is like, hey, let's ask for the ideal situation and then bargain down, is what I think we're looking at. And this may just be a giant plea for, hey, do you need something in legal writing to come help us? Because we need some sort of help because we're losing every lawsuit.
Yeah. I just, like, to me, man, it boils down to this. Like, the speed limit is 75 and you're driving a Lamborghini and you get pulled over and you're like, yeah, but it's too hard to drive 75 in my Lambo.
It might be.
Like, can you just like,
it might be, though.
Can I like have 100 miles an hour, please? Because I have a Lamborghini. Like, it's so sickening.
See, but I think it's a little bit different than that. I think it is, hey, we built these shrines for this sport and we have the best facilities and we put all this money into making sure we have the best without the intentions of shilling out this money. So how do we maintain the way we've done business while also trying to be able to fit the bill for this thing we didn't see coming?
Right.
Because the alternative to this, and we've talked about this a lot, is people are going to lose their jobs. Like, they're going to cut money to make money.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
That's how businesses stay intact.
But, like, honestly, if you have been doing something that is deemed illegal, then you have to suffer the consequences. You don't just get to say, yeah, but we don't really like that. It's too hard.
But hold on, though. It's not like, hey, they knew it was illegal and they were fine. It was, this went to court and then got deemed illegal. So they had to completely change the model of the business.
Yep.
After 100 years.
And that's how the law works in this country.
No, I get it, but I'm just saying, I think we owe the NCAA and the people making these decisions a little bit of grace, because they were told.
I'll give them the grace for the past things. Absolutely. Like, you're forgiven.
No, I mean, like, from the learning curve standpoint. Like, okay, how do we do this while maintaining the merit of the law?
Sure. But they're not asking to maintain the law. They're saying, hey, we got in trouble because we broke this law that we didn't know we were breaking, but now we know we were breaking it. Can you just say that we don't have to abide by that law now? That sucks.
Yeah, that's a little gross. I agree. Hey, if you missed the opening segment, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by Allo Fiber. You heard it here first. Allo has teamed up with DirecTV and launched Allo Mobile. This product is combination means internet you can count on and trust. Streaming TV you can watch anytime, anywhere, and mobile nationwide coverage you can depend on. This is real service, and it comes with real savings that you won't want to miss out. Switch, stack, and save tonight at allofiber.com/stack before Labor Day and get on this great deal tonight. We'll be right back. Colorado's AD, he wants Nebraska. We'll tell you why on the other side of the break. 1620 zone.
Hey, everybody. John here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Listen, you know what happens. You have a few too many beers. You have a few too many cheeseburgers. You're getting a little big around the middle. Suddenly, that 3-year-old golf polo doesn't look as good as it did. Maybe it's a little tighter. Maybe the washer did the little number on it. Or maybe all of that you've been chowing down on did a little number. Either way, no judgment. You need some new gear. Go to 78th and Dodge, Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Get yourself a Johnny O Polo. Great stretchy material. Doesn't fade in the washer. They look fantastic. I have one myself. It's got the little Creighton logo on it. It is at the top of the depth chart when it comes to golf polos in my closet. It's first on laundry day. It'll be first on your depth chart as well. You need to get to 78th and Dodge and get a Johnny O polo today. Check out Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. They've been dressed in Omaha for over 50 years.
Partly cloudy this evening with the temperature in the 70s and a bit of a north breeze. Slight chance of a shower tonight, partly cloudy. Low drops back to around 65. Then mostly cloudy early Saturday, but becoming partly to mostly sunny with a high around 82. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait, make a lasting impact today.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
don't know. Well, welcome into the After Hours Lounge. On a brought to you by Bellevue University. Looking for the ideal college experience. Go over to Bellevue.edu and register for classes tonight. Don't forget to punch in for the night shift tonight. We're coming on YouTube. J-Man does J-Man. Thanks for showing up for Friday night shift. We appreciate it. John Schreiner is back in studio as well. It has been, John, you've missed out on Big 12 Media Days, which Dan and I have basically been hate watching the entire week. But
I haven't missed it.
you've missed your takes on Big 12 Media Days. Rick George, the athletic director of the Colorado Buffaloes, talked to the Denver podcast today, which doesn't have any E's in it. Very weird. But he said, my preference would be to put Nebraska on our schedule sooner rather than later. We would love to play them every year. It was good. It's good for the game of football, and it's good for the rivalry that Coach McCartney and Coach Osborne started a few years ago, by the way. I don't know if Rick George knows this. It was more than a few years ago when Coach McCartney and Coach Osborne were on their respective sidelines.
I wasn't born yet.
So what you're telling me is football was better when we had natural rivalries in place. What a concept.
Weird.
I find it very interesting that Rick George and Colorado are taking this approach. And obviously, nice little payday when Nebraska fans come to town, and you can try to keep them out all you want, but they spend a little bit of cash when they get to Boulder. But it's very interesting to me that Rick George and, by de facto, Deion Sanders are taking we'd like to put Colorado on our schedule every year approach, while Matt Rule is like, nah, give us Rio Grande Valley 3 times a year. We're good. Yeah. And pivoting away and trying to play the cupcake-esque schedule. After last year, if you ask Nebraska fans, I think 90% of them would say, yeah, we'd love to play Colorado every year. My question is, do you want Colorado every year if you don't get Deion Sanders every year? His health has been an issue. He's been away from the team. This is really his first team-centric organized appearance, including practices at Big 12 Media Days. He's been in Dallas, not even in Colorado, rehabbing it with his health. And my headphones just randomly started working. That's very
cool.
Weird. We'll see how this goes. I think for everybody out there that says we would love to play Colorado every year, the thing I'll caveat it with, it's been very cool in the 2 stints. Obviously, the first 2 years under Coach Frost, and now the second.
Mel Tucker was the coach then, yeah.
Correct. Well, and then the second and third years under Matt Rule, I think they've been fun because you've missed it.
Yeah.
Now, if Colorado goes back to the way they were pre-Deion Sanders, if Deion were to leave,
guaranteed win, boys.
They would be guaranteed wins, but would it be as fun? Would you enjoy it as much?
Yeah,
I don't know if
as much as I like close games between Colorado and Nebraska, I like Colorado getting the doors blown off even more.
Well, I just wonder how much it would diminish the rivalry or the hatred, because the fact is the game wouldn't matter as much by the time the end of the year rolls around. It's not a conference game anymore.
No,
I think that may take a little bit out of the sales.
That takes it out already. I mean, it's already a non-conference game. So from that perspective, you're never getting that back unless we have the big split and we go back to regional conferences again. I think for me, I would like to see it be an every year thing, just because outside of the manufactured rivalry with Iowa, Nebraska doesn't have a rival on their schedule every year anymore.
Yeah.
Like an old rival, an old time rival that has been around for many, many years. Like there's no Oklahoma, there's no Colorado, there's no even Kansas State, which was not a rivalry for a very long time because Nebraska beat them like 87 times in a row. But, you know, late on in the Big 12 years, Nebraska, Kansas State was must-see TV. Right?
Yeah.
But
especially the second time Bill Snyder
you don't have any teams on Nebraska's schedule on a yearly basis that you have a ton of history with. So just even having one every year that there's some history would feel good to me.
We talked about things feeling gross with the NCAA a minute ago.
Yeah.
It felt really icky when the Big Ten was like, no, you only get Iowa. Like, never mind this hatred you've built up for Wisconsin. Never mind this really intriguing matchup series that you've had with Northwestern and Minnesota. It's just Iowa, and you can just kind of deal with it because you're not really one of us still.
Well, and that's part of being the new kid in the conference, right? You don't have history with all these
Nebraska
teams.
has now been in the Big Ten as long as they were in the Big 12, though.
Sure, and that's fine. But how long has Michigan been in the Big Ten? How long has Ohio State been in the Big Ten?
Right, but it just felt like you're treated as a secondhand citizen because of the way you've performed on the field, which is fair, and I'll hear that. But if we're gonna,
I would give you 50% of that, and the other 50% is that the other teams because they can't do every game as a protected rival. You have to have some rotation.
but I just think it's really, I don't know if unfair is the word, or maybe even unprofessional to say, okay, this team can have 3 protected rivals, but this
Because
team
of
can't.
history.
But okay, but you for a decade you've had these built-in rivalries.
Yeah.
How much history do we got to talk about here? I mean, 10 years is a long time, and
It's not 70.
it's not. But think about how many you now have one whole generation where you have a built-in rivalry with Minnesota. You have there are kids that are going to be going to school this year that know more about the Nebraska Northwestern rivalry than they know about Nebraska Oklahoma.
Is Nebraska Northwestern really a rivalry?
I mean the matchup. But listen, that series has been really good. That has been so, think about the Hail Mary against Northwestern. Think about the comeback in the back of the end zone where Taylor Martinez threw that ball to Kenny Bell. There has been, think about the upsets that Northwestern has pulled off Nebraska. I honestly think you can look at some of the Nebraska Michigan State games, Nebraska Northwestern games, and those series have been more intriguing than some, specifically the Wisconsin game. Now, that being said, I'd rather play Wisconsin every year than any other team in the country. I hate that fan base and I hate that team, and I want to see Nebraska get their licks in while they suck. It would be awesome. But I think you naturally get the Iowa rivalry because of the Black Friday aspect of it and the fact that you're trying to keep it somewhat regional still, which I get, but I just think it's insulting to say, hey, in the Big Ten, everybody gets an equal share of the pie, and they do from a financial standpoint. We just talked about the $7 billion media rights deal. Maryland gets as much as Ohio State does in that aspect, but they are not treated as equals when it comes to favoritism.
I understand your sentiment, but from the way the conference has ballooned up to 18 teams, if every team had 3 protected rivals, your crossover games would be minimal.
What if we just had divisions?
What
if there was already an answer to this?
Jimmy, I got a question for you then, to kind of roll along in your kind of vein that you're setting up for us here.
Yeah.
Who are Michigan's rivals in the Big Ten?
Ohio State, Michigan State, and probably
Penn
State. Yeah.
Tradition, proximity, tradition. Nebraska, as much as you want to say 10 years is a long time, we don't have Big Ten tradition at our school yet.
How are we supposed to do that?
We don't
How
have
are we
the
supposed
length,
to gain
and
that?
we don't have the legacy.
How do you gain that without those built-in games? If
you wait 40 more years,
right? But you're not going to have the same crossover games like Michigan has every year, though. So if your answer to this is, well, you got to build Big Ten tradition. Well, how can I do that if I only play Purdue every 3 years, or if I only play Northwestern every 6 years? It's never going to happen. So to solve your problem, you don't have a way to do that. Not the way this is structured.
And to solve your problem, Jimmy, the way that you actually resolve this situation is you take your pinky,
you go back to Big 12.
Dip it into the water, and you wiggle it around until someone bites you hard enough that you say, all right, I'm going to F that guy up. Every single time we face each other.
Is this a John Schreiner on vacation story? No.
It's kind of where I was getting at.
But Dan, listen, let's say that happens. Let's say you get a Kenny Bell in the Big Ten championship-esque moment where there's a spot where there's some heat and people get mad about it and everybody's up in arms about it and it makes you hate the other side of the fan base, and then you don't see that team again for another 5 years. Did we just, listen, everybody that was on that roster is now gone. Did we just undo that? Well, Nebraska doesn't have enough Big Ten clout to get that done, so now we just don't let them have it.
Nebraska's not the only one in this boat now.
I agree.
Maryland, Rutgers, USC,
I'm making this local because the people listening care about this, but I want this uniform across the board. If we're going to say Michigan gets Ohio State and Penn State and Michigan State every single year because, well, then Nebraska needs to have those 3 games built into. Maryland needs to have those games built into. Rutgers it needs to be uniform across the board. I think 3 should be the magic number. I think all the West Coast schools should play each other no matter what. And that could be your 3 built in for everyone. And they probably will because, Dan, one of your points, proximity. But why is that not I've hated the lack of uniformity since Nebraska's been in the Big Ten. You played at Ohio State for 7 consecutive years with no merit behind it. I'm fine. If it's hey, one of Nebraska's built-in rivalries will just be Ohio State. You have to play them every year. I'm fine with that. As long as it makes sense and there's reason behind it. And it can't just be, hey, it's TV ratings. You know what? I'm fine with that. If it's just TV ratings, give us the 3 best TV ratings games every single year so you have some sort of semblance of what your schedule is going to look like, what your fans should care about, and how you build rivalries.
Okay.
Because this does nothing.
On paper, what you're saying makes a ton of sense. And I think you're right about it. The practical is where the problem comes in. Because who are Maryland's 3 protected rivals?
Right.
Who are Rutgers' 3 protected rivals?
It's the same thing you'd say about Nebraska right now, too. But they will never get those teams if this doesn't happen. If you don't give them consistency. The only reason Nebraska fans hate Colorado and the only reason Nebraska fans hate Oklahoma is because they played them every single year and there was something on the line at the end of it.
It's because our conference was small enough to do that at the time.
Yeah, there's like I don't think that with 3 protected games every year and your other 5 games you're only playing 5 other teams.
Maybe 6, right? 9 conference games.
Yeah, 6 other teams who are.
That's the other thing. I think they need to go to 10 conference games. If we're gonna if we're gonna sit on this facade that we have 18 teams and there's no split coming and that this is just the way it is and the way it's gonna be, you're gonna have to play 10 conference games because there's gonna be a 2007-esque year like there was in the Big 12 where you had Texas Tech, Oklahoma, and Texas at the top, and basically you're gonna have to play a game of Yahtzee to decide who gets into the conference championship game. Like this is going to happen. It's going to come to a head, and you're
pretty good at Yahtzee,
and you're going to be very upset if you're one of those fan bases that gets left out in the cold. Like
10 conference games is never going to happen though, because you've got some folks down in the southeastern part of the United States who are going to say, "We're not playing another game."
Well, they're already doing that, so why does that matter?
They don't.
Well,
it's a non-conference game for them. It's where they get to play the Citadel.
It's just getting to the point where we're basically letting Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State piss on the rest of the conference and call it rain, right? Like that's where we're getting to. And listen, everybody's pretty fine with the shower right now because their pockets are getting filled. But at what point do you stand and go, okay, but why aren't we getting X amount of treatment?
Yeah, I don't see a great solution for it because you've got 18 teams in a league, which means there's 17 teams beside yourself. If you're protecting 3, then you've still got 14 teams and you're going to play 6 a year.
Why can't you just divide that in half and rotate? Here's your 6. You play them for 2. You do a home and home with them, and then we switch to the next 6.
Yeah. And then you've got 2 more teams.
I'm going to break this down. When we come back on Monday, I'm going to have the answer to this problem. I promise. Tony Petiti, 402-951-1620. We'd love to give you the answer to the problems you're looking for. When we come back, BYU's starting quarterback is not entering the transfer portal and is going to have to walk on at his next location. We'll tell you why that is when we come back. 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody. John here for Bob at Williams Law. Just got back off a little vacation out to the West Coast, and it's a nice cure for boredom, that getting out of the city for a bit. And if there's some boredom going around in your neighborhood, maybe the kids are getting a little rowdy, maybe they found themselves run afoul of the law, then you need to talk to Bob at Williams Law. You're going to get a free, no-obligation legal consultation for the minor in your life who may be facing some legal action. He can also deal with civil matters, so it's not just youth and the criminal courts, but he can help you there too. Your free no obligation legal consultation comes with free answers to your questions, free advice, and free setup for your day in court. Yes, free for the first meeting with Bob. He's a good lawyer. He's a good man. And he's going to treat you right. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 16.
640 on a Friday night edition of Bellevue University. Set up with Bellevue.edu and register classes in a freeway tonight. There's an issue with former BYU quarterback. Jake Rizla has left school and will not be entering into the transfer portal. Who's Jake Rizla, you may be asking? He was former BYU starting quarterback. What?
Left is
yes,
doing a lot of heavy lifting.
He was accused of sexual assault, but the female involved dropped the charges. But he did admit to consensual sex with a woman, and that is against BYU's honor code. That was going to lead to him being suspended for 7 games due to that. So you may be asking, why didn't he hit the transfer, or why didn't he hit the transfer portal, and why is he just leaving school? According to Pete Nicholas of On3, BYU did not include him on their designated student athlete list, which does not allow him to enter the portal and will not be allowed to transfer and will have to walk on at his next school. But obviously, we live in an era where NIL is the great equalizer and can be the benefactor there. But just a really tough situation for, and kind of a bad look for BYU too. Like, I understand what they're doing. You couldn't really include him as a student athlete while that lawsuit was going on, and now you get a guy that's kind of left out in a situation here.
Well, BYU is a private school.
Yep.
And they're allowed to make their own rules. That's what private schools do. And when you go to BYU, I think you know what the rules are. And if you break those rules, you have to understand what the consequences might be. And this is the consequence. Like, there are positives and negatives to everything, right? And he signed the honor code when he agreed to be a student athlete at BYU.
And it's one of the more affordable schools in the entire country for a reason.
And agree or disagree with their policies, they are the policies that they are allowed to set by being a private religious institution. I don't like it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but hey, it's their prerogative as to what they want their student athletes to uphold because it is a private institution. So, yeah, it sucks for him for being left out in the cold like this, but man, somebody's going to get a pretty good quarterback for a little bit of nothing.
I'm kind of surprised that they haven't asked for some sort of waiver or maybe an exemption, but
still may.
They still might. But the problem with that is once you open up that can of worms, where do we draw the line, right? So that may be the reason too. They may have privately,
yeah,
and the NCAA would, nah, dog, that ain't happening.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he ends up, because you have to think, like, right now, most schools in the country have their quarterback at least room pretty well set.
Yeah. I mean, it's July 11th,
right? There may be a school out there who doesn't like what they have in their quarterback room and be like, hey, you can come here. A non-Power 4 school would probably be like, yeah, we'll take a P5
probably going to
quarterback.
be his only option. Like, I don't see, especially in this cycle. Like, here's the other thing is with him leaving school and choosing not to hit the transfer portal, if he does end up somewhere, he has the option to freely transfer yet again.
Yeah.
So if he does end up going to, I don't know, Akron for a season and lights it up for the Zips, other than when he plays Nebraska, he has the opportunity to get that free transfer and stuff.
Would be real interesting is like a Missouri State who's just coming into Division I.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not like there aren't going to be suitors, right?
Sure.
Like he's Ohio State and Alabama aren't going to come calling, but he's going to end up in a pretty good situation.
Originally?
I think he's a Utah kid.
He is from Corona, California.
Okay,
of course
he's 6'1".
He plays
pounds.
quarterback. Of course, he's from Corona, California.
Yeah. Good for him though. In all of this situation is that he is a junior.
Yeah.
So if he does go to like a non-Power 5, Group of 4, whatever you want to call it, school, he does have the opportunity to possibly play there for 1 year and then enter the portal to go to a Group of 5 larger school.
Well, the interesting part about that, Dan, too, that I didn't think about until you mentioned that was, what about the new JUCO rules? He could go to a junior college right now and not burn any of his eligibility, which might be his best route for him.
Or, even
Scott Strohmeyer, you need a quarterback
somewhere out there like a Fresno State, which is going to be in the Pac-12 next year. He could go and play for Fresno. Like, that's not that far away from his hometown. San Diego State, not that far away. If he wanted to be close to home.
Yeah, and like we just said though, like there is going to be a lot of suitors, but you're gonna also those suitors are probably going to be in bad situations. So anybody that's come calling, you're probably not competing for the college football playoff.
Nope.
Dan, how are your Wyoming Cowboys doing at quarterback this time of year?
I mean, they can always use a quarterback. Anyone can get on that roster.
Yeah, it is just a cautionary tale though about personal conduct.
Well, not even that. Hey, maybe if there's rules, you should probably follow them.
Well, probably.
Hey, if you missed out on this segment tonight, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. You feel the temperatures rising outside? Hopefully you don't feel them rising inside. You need to get a maintenance appointment set up with Controlled Comfort. I told you last night, I'll continue to tell you, I did not get a maintenance appointment set up. 2 years ago, my AC went down. Controlled Comfort came out to my house. They diagnosed the issue. It was actually our thermostat, not our AC. But you know what they did? They took a look at our AC and said, hey, you probably got about 2 years left on this thing. They were absolutely right. We are in the process of needing to have our not only our thermostat replaced, but now our AC needs to go out in almost the exact time frame that Controlled Comfort gave us. Give yourself peace of mind about your HVAC by heading over to controlledcomfort.com. Get a maintenance appointment set up so you can have peace of mind about the temperatures going up outside tonight. We'll be right back finding out what's trending on social media. We come back on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. Home or residential, they can do it all. Check out axpservice.com for all your plumbing, water heater, gas piping, and backflow prevention issues. AX Plumbing is locally owned and operated, and they'll leave your home or business cleaner than they found it. Check out axpservice.com for more details tonight.
There's never been a better time to choose a new career path than right now. Hi, I'm Tracy with Papillion Sanitation. If you're at a point in your life where you want a career, not a job, Papillion Sanitation is the place for you. From 401k options to opportunities for career advancement, come make Papillion Sanitation your future. Check out papillion-sanitation.com today to apply and make a change for the better. Papillion Sanitation, equal opportunity employer.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
First hour of the NFL Lounge. Register for classes on Fridays and online, and there's live sports on campus. It is the best college experience in the Midwest. Check out bellevue.edu for more details tonight. Dan Campbell, you've been working your fingers to the bone all day long, looking for what's trending on social media. What do we got, Dano?
Well, this is probably one of the things that I'm actually a little bit surprised that while John was gone, that we didn't get to.
We tried.
Because there is a lot of news swirling around one Patrick. I play a lot of football. Mahomes. I don't know what his middle name is.
His wife had surgery.
Rhinoplasty is what some people would call that. But more importantly, does Patrick Mahomes need surgery? There certainly is one guy in Kansas City who thinks so.
talks about it a lot. $10 years, $450 million is Patrick Mahomes' contract.
Yep.
That should probably give you a little incentive to keep yourself in shape. Now, I will say this. It is July. He is on vacation. He hasn't probably hit the weight room in a while. But he's also a very elite athlete that probably doesn't take a whole lot to get back into playing shape. You remember Ben Roethlisberger? Anybody remember seeing Ben Roethlisberger with a six-pack? Ben Roethlisberger, a pretty good NFL quarterback, will take off the field issues out of the equation.
Can I just interject a point here? Because there's something that he said that really rubs me the wrong way, just in general.
Okay.
First off, this is from a podcast that this guy has called Kevin Keitzman Has Issues. Number one, it is very obvious that you have an issue, not the one that you think you're going to be talking about. And when he mentioned that Patrick Mahomes shows up to training camp to get into shape,
clearly an assumption.
Yes, very much clearly an assumption. He does work out in the offseason. His trainer has said as much, clapping back at this guy. But that is what training camp is for, is to get the majority of your I'm back in playing shape now and I'm back in football shape brought in. Every single NFL player, from skill players down to linemen, has a weight that their training staff wants to see them at. If they come into camp a little bit overweight, they go, hey, not really great, but guess what? You're going to work your patootie off during this training camp to get down to said weight.
What was this guy's name again, Dan?
Kevin Keitzman.
You spell the last name?
Keitzman.
Yeah. Honestly, I understand. I get it. Right? You want the athletes on your favorite team to care. You want them to be invested. You want them to be all in because that's your favorite team and you want them to care about it even more than you do.
And he's based out of Kansas City. I think it's important to point that out.
Yes, he is.
Yes. So I understand. But honestly, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the world today. Do you want him to be a physical specimen or do you want trophies? Because one of those he can deliver to you and the other one doesn't matter.
Can I play devil's advocate here for a minute? I can't believe I'm going to do this, but
I can't believe you are either. Go ahead. This is gonna be fun.
I think I know where he was trying to come from, and it just came from it came out the wrong way, and it wasn't good. Patrick Mahomes is going to be 30 when the season starts. And I think the sentiment, he's 29. And I think the sentiment was, maybe you should take a little bit better than yourself because it's going to take a little longer to rejuvenate your body than it has in the past.
Yeah.
Which I think is a very fair statement to make, because here's why. That happens to every 30-year-old. Come out and call him fat and talk about how, him and his wife did that podcast about fried chicken, so I get the reference. But just poor delivery, man. Like, hey, it's almost de facto what we've been talking about with Matt Rule doing the Savannah Bananas thing and Dana Holgerson being out at F1. Are they taking it serious enough? Just really bad delivery. And listen, he mentioned it. He put the headline out there to get clicks. I mean, he told you why he said it. He flat out told you why he said it.
This is why you turn on the dial.
I want to spin this around on the two of you real quick, though.
Are you going to call us fat?
No, God, no.
He can. I mean,
but
let myself go.
John, Jaden Daniels is your quarterback for the Washington Commanders.
Sure.
He's good.
Out of all of the things that he does, the one thing that always makes media headlines is how much his mom interferes in his career from a focus standpoint. Does that worry you? Does Jaden Daniels' mother caring about him worry you?
Not really.
Brock Purdy was just on Bustin' with the Boys. Does it worry you that he's doing podcasting things in the summer?
There's a lot of things that are worrying me about him right now, but no, that is not one of them.
And guess what? Jordan Love just got married. You know what I'm not worried about?
So did Adrian
His
Martinez.
focus on the football season. because it's July. And also, it is really funny that this comes out, and then I looked like further into like what people were saying about Patrick Mahomes online.
Yeah.
And it was literally like half the people who were like, Kevin Kingsman is right. Patrick Mahomes looks fat. And then it was a bunch of Kansas City Chiefs stan accounts that were like, look at Patrick Mahomes' abs in this picture, though. You can see his abs.
Yeah, I can't wait till he shows up to camp with a six-pack and a tummy shirt. It's happening, by the way.
It's just a little bit of a weird thing to care about for me because I can show you a bunch of quarterbacks with bad bodies who've won Super Bowl championships. Hello, Tom Brady.
Let me remind you of Kirk Cousins.
And I can show you a bunch of quarterbacks that are absolute Adonis figures.
You remember
Tim win a football game.
Remember Tim Tebow?
Like, it's a little bit of a weird thing to worry about from a quarterback point of view.
How many times did Eli Manning take his shirt off for a fitness magazine? I'll remind me.
Does everyone remember the Tom Brady draft photo?
Yeah.
If you don't, you have been watching TV in the last 10 years.
Mr. Nara Hips.
But this is another Patrick Mahomes, Dylan Raiola handshake meme, though, right? Like we've heard all the stuff about Matt Rule talking about 240, his quarterback needing to lose weight. Maybe Patrick Mahomes is just trying to show that you shouldn't be body shaming quarterbacks in solidarity for Dylan Raiola. Maybe that's all this is.
He got the haircut. What more do you people want?
Hey, if you missed the social media soundbite tonight, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. If you need help with social media marketing or online advertising, they can't help you with a six-pack, but they can help your company get its fitness game right online. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com. Let Pixel Fire Marketing social media experts ignite your social media presence and entice your ideal client while engaging your brand online. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more information. Tonight, we buy or sell on fireworks. The other side of the break, 1620 zone.
I'm on my way to what I want from this world. And years from now, you'll make it to the next world.
Hey, everybody. John here for Paul Davis Restoration, the property restoration experts. When disaster strikes, you got to trust Paul Davis. Get this number, store it in your phone, 402-553-0373. Why do you want to keep it in your phone? Because Paul Davis promises that they have a 24/7 emergency service and a 30-minute response window. That means if you've got a problem with your home, smoke damage, maybe you set the smoke alarm off cooking the chicken again. That happens. Maybe some water got into the basement after a big storm. We had a few of those recently. You get that number, you call them, 30 minutes, they're there to help you out to get that home fixed up to the way it was before the damage happened. The number again, 402-553-0373. It's Paul Davis Restoration.
Hi, I'm Asher on summer break and about to start second grade. Thanks to awesome people like you who picked Aloe Fiber, they donated $193,000 to schools like mine. This summer, I'm using my fast internet to keep learning, and I can't wait to tell my teacher everything I discovered. So if you're a grown-up picking internet, choose Aloe, because Aloe chooses us, our schools, our town, and our future. Go to aloefiber.com to learn more.
Heat waves are crashing all over the Midwest. Beat the heat with Controlled Comfort. If your AC is aging and you have concerns, Controlled Comfort is your one-stop shop for all your HVAC issues. Let Controlled Comfort's comfort specialist come out, diagnose your issue, resolve it, or replace that old AC unit with one that'll keep you cool in the months ahead. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
KOPN.
Top of the second hour, if you're showing up, don't much into the next week's content on YouTube. What do you think is your best take that we can talk about next time? Buy or sell? Yeah, what do we got?
Oh, we have so much tonight. Chargers running back Najee Harris was injured celebrating America on the 4th of July. He and several people he was with were involved in a fireworks-related incident that injured his eye and also sent one person to the hospital with damage to their finger. He is set to go by the start of the season. Fires celebrated close to an era where athletes are fined for these types of accidents like JP.
I mean, obviously, that's the most infamous firework accident, right? But I think that's the street. And glad to hear Najee Harris is okay. Some slight damage to the outside of the eye. But we keep hearing about these different types of accidents, whether it be on boats, whether it be with fireworks, whether it be playing pickup basketball, motorcycles. Yeah, that's a big one. It kind of surprises me that the majority of athletes, some don't already have it, specifically the bigger dollar amount athletes, already have these in their contract. It surprises me that's not almost universal.
Yeah, I think a lot of them probably do have unnecessary risk clauses in their contracts where, like, it's voided if you do something that's deemed to be unnecessarily risky.
And all accounts say this isn't it. He was just sitting there watching a fireworks show and something went awry.
But man, it also, like, we were having this debate the other day about how much they're paid, and it's like a simple accident like this can derail your entire career.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if he'd have lost his eye,
he's done.
Yeah, it would have been horrible.
So yeah, will they be fined for accidents like this? No, I sell on that. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Dan,
I can say it's funny that that's the conversation that we're having, because I just saw a video the other day of Chet Holmgren when he did
your boy,
of course, when he did the 10 things that I have on me at all times, and for some reason he had a pair of ski goggles, and it was revealed by having said ski goggles that he was like, why would a guy who is contractually barred from going skiing have ski goggles? Well, someday I want to win an NBA championship.
He already did that.
Everyone was posting it as like a full circle moment,
Yeah.
It was when he was a rookie. Moving on, my least favorite subject, the Bears. They still suck, but they went 5-12 last year. Let's pat ourselves on the back. They just gave GM Ryan Poles an extension through 2029. Buy or sell, the Bears have the right guy at the top of their franchise.
I sell. They realized that they were getting Caleb Williams even with a different general manager, right? Like, I don't understand why or where the sentiment is of keeping this GM in town is coming from. I can't point at one thing that he has done of note that is worthy of him keeping his job.
Are you joking?
No, what do you got?
DJ Moore.
Okay.
That was him.
Yep.
Keenan Allen.
Okay.
That was him.
How many games did they win last year?
5.
Were both those guys on that team?
They were.
Was it fair to say that he may have made the wrong moves then?
No.
How old isn't Keenan Allen? Like 32?
Maybe.
So he got out of his prime wide receiver?
He's not even on the roster anymore.
Yeah.
Listen.
I was going to say, I also think that was a 1-year deal. Yeah, he's with the Broncos.
Well, good for him.
They did sign DeAndre Swift in the offseason.
Okay. How old's DeAndre Swift?
28, 29.
So an end of his prime running back. You guys are just making my case here for me.
Listen, I'm
DeAndre
perfectly
Swift was
fine
awesome
with
5 years
Ryan
ago.
Poles being the head of the Bears
Oh,
for
are
as
you?
long as he
Weird.
wants to be.
Okay, that's where I thought we were going with this.
The deal with Carolina, I think, earned him a little bit of cachet in that town and in that building. Granted, that was one deal that he made. It's not gone as well for him in the past, but I think the McCaskey family don't want to upset the apple cart more than they already have with the Caleb Williams situation and what it is currently.
The question is, do they have the right guy at the top of their franchise?
No.
I think it's the grade is incomplete. We'll see how it goes this year. Year 2 of your superstar quarterback. What did you put around him? How do they look on defense? Like, I think we'll know after this season whether or not they have the right guy. What does he put together this year with year 2 of Caleb Williams?
I'm going to hijack buy or sell for a quick second, just because our conversation about Jaden Daniels and his mother a minute ago.
Yeah.
Has Chunky Soup completely missed the boat on getting a new Donovan McNabb and his mom commercial going with Jaden Daniels and his mother? Please make this happen.
Campbell's, if you're listening.
Yeah, let's do this. Go ahead, Dan.
It's a good idea.
We'll
Back
take
to
10%. That's it.
Fair deal.
That's actually a great deal. I'll take it.
33 and 1/3 for everybody.
Yes. All right. Angel Reese was chosen as the cover for the WNBA version of 2K26. Buy or sell that she was the right choice for the cover.
She was absolutely the right choice. Listen, I mean, she is one of the stars of the WNBA right now. Caitlin Clark was on the cover a year ago. This is the right thing to do. She deserves her flowers as well. Whether you like Caitlin Clark, whether you like Angel Reese, whether you dislike one or both of them, they're 2 of the biggest stars, if not the 2 biggest stars in the sport right now. I think she's absolutely deserving of this cover.
Yeah, I mean, she's as good as anyone else you could have picked, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, she's definitely, if not the second most noticeable face.
You could make
by
an
the casual
argument.
fan.
You could make an argument for any number of other players, and I could still make an argument for Angel Reese. So yeah, she's a fine choice for the cover.
I buy 100%. Names make money, and her name is making money right now. So why wouldn't she's
had a
NBA
McDonald's
2K?
deal, a cereal deal. She just had her own shoe drop. This is absolutely the right choice.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that Reebok deal next week at
Okay.
some point. Paul Feinbaum is a
Could be your trash
weirdo,
take.
but he made an even weirder statement for him today.
Ooh, buddy, did he?
In his defense of why Texas will beat Ohio State in week 1, he said, I'm as married to Arch Manning as an old geezer like me can be to a young, great college quarterback, but I like everything about him, and I think you said something. The Manning name matters, but it isn't going to matter. That field in a couple of weeks at Ohio State. The experience of being an understudy to Ewers and understanding Sark's system is what it's going to get them over the top and definitely beat Ohio State in the opener. Buy or sell, this felt weird. I need to take a shower. Thanks.
Yeah. He is now married. Like, I get what he was saying. He's an Arch Manning apologist. He's going to defend him, and he feels
He's
like
a fan.
He's the best player in college football. I get all of that. To make that statement that you're as married to a college quarterback as an old man can be felt really gross out of the gate. And it's not like Dan Campanen read that weird. No, that's exactly how it sounded. So, yes, it felt very weird. I buy it.
I say I sell because it's Feinbaum. And you said it in the opening statement. He's a weirdo.
He kind of gives me creep vibes.
He's a weirdo, man. This is par for the course. This is not extra weird, even for Feinbaum.
John, I would like to give you some homework. I want you to go back and listen to it.
All right.
And then tell me
Okay.
how you feel on Monday.
Okay.
And for my buy or sell on this one, I'm staying right in the middle, and I'm saying, hey, Paul Feinbaum, brown nose.
Yeah. How much you trying to get an Arch Manning interview on your show, buddy?
John, no buy or sell question for this last one.
Okay.
You've been gone for a week.
Almost.
Do you have any takes you need to get off your chest?
Some are saying not long enough.
Well, I wasn't here for the big hullabaloo over Scott Frost's comments.
Did he say something
at Big 12 Media Days? And I said this before, kind of in passing, and it just confirms it. I think Scott Frost is a narcissist. I think
you can leave the words "I think" out of that sentence.
It just the absolute refusal to accept any blame for what happened at Nebraska and just put it all on it not being the right situation, and he was pushed into it by people who didn't have his best interests at heart, is incredibly narcissistic. Like, there are so many ways.
Well, he didn't say by people that didn't have his best interests at heart, just that by people he couldn't say no to.
But there are so many ways to handle these questions that don't involve you laying blame everywhere but yourself. You can be the magnanimous, honest person who says, like, yeah, look, maybe I didn't do things as well as I could have, but I'm refreshed, I'm renewed, I'm ready to get back to work here at UCF. Nebraska was a tough job, and I didn't do as good as I wanted to do, but I'm back at UCF now, and we had success here, and we can have success again. How hard would it be to say that?
Apparently
right?
Impossible.
but he doesn't. He just consistently keeps shoving the blame onto other people. And look, we all know the stories. We all know the behind the scenes stuff. Like, we don't need to rehash it. There's plenty of blame to go on Scott Frost's shoulders for what happened at Nebraska.
Knowing you, I think I know the answer to this question. Do you care if he succeeds or fails? Do you care?
I honestly, when he first took the job, even knowing all the things that went on here, I was like, you know what? I hope he finds a measure of success, and I hope he's happy.
Yeah, listen, I think that's the sentiment. Even J-Man in the night shift punches in and says, John, I blocked it out of my mind like a total recall, and I agree 110%. It's so hard. Like, I get why people are focused on this. It's also July. There's a reason they're doing Big 12 Media Days right now, right? But just a simple, hey, it didn't work, and I'm sorry for it, is good. Like, that would go a mile. And he's just refusing to do it.
I played at Nebraska. It'd always be a part of my football story. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but I'm at UCF now.
One of the mailbag questions last night asked what he could have said that was worse. And I said, well, Tom Osborne made me do it. Would have probably been about the best answer we could hope for, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know if it could get much worse than just shoving it off onto somebody else. That was bad. And that's the one thing from the past week that's really just
grinds your gears.
It's grated on me a little bit.
So I've got one more because we didn't get to this at all this week, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this because I thought it was kind of a funny question posed by friend of the show, sometimes co-host of the show, Michael Severe. Who is the best bet to eventually write a Coach Scott Frost book that's a tell-all, and would you pre-order it now? And he's got Dirk Chatelain, Mitch Sherman, Steve Sipple, or Sam McEwen on his list.
Most likely to do it would be
Sam.
Sip. No, I think it'd be Sip.
I think it's Sam.
But the person whose take I would be the most likely to read or most anxious to read would be Sam McEwen.
Yeah. Well, Dirk was part of the Homecoming book.
Yep.
That the World Herald put out when he was hired, which I own and is still on my coffee table at home.
Thanks, Dirk.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that has Sam McEwen project written all over it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say so. Dirk Chatelain won Michael Severe's poll.
Yeah,
obviously it's a fan vote.
Yep.
And I voted for Sip because
Dirk Chatelain won Michael Severe's poll is probably a great drop that we should save for later in the show.
Sure. I voted for Sipple because I thought out of all of those guys, he'd be the one to least likely pull any punches.
Well, he need help with Moose's book, and he's done. I mean, him and Dirk are the easy two answers because they've both written books before. But
To be fair,
Sam's would be the most interesting in my opinion.
24th and Glory, Derek's book. If you haven't read it,
Fantastic.
Lovely book. I picked that up at the Made in Omaha store downtown, and I probably read it once a year just for fun. It's great.
If you missed Buy or Sell Tonight, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Listen, it's hot outside. You know what's going to happen here in the next couple of months? Yeah, football season's going to start, but it's also going to start getting cold outside. If you haven't thought about your heater in the past couple of months, maybe you haven't even switched out your furnace filter, you're supposed to do that when it's hot out. It's even more of a reason for you to call Controlled Comfort tonight. Head over to controlledcomfort.com. Get a maintenance appointment set up with Controlled Comfort. They'll come out, take a look at your AC, give you peace of mind about the warmer months, but also make sure your furnace is ready to go for the cold months as well. Check out controlledcomfort.com. Set up a maintenance appointment tonight. We'll be right back. We haven't done this in a while. We're going to talk about what we're watching on TV when we come back at 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Bob Williams with Williams Law. Maybe you've been driving around in an empty parking lot while hanging out of your car while doing air guitar, and you got a ticket for doing it. Well, that's not good, and you're going to have to face a day in court. And if you have questions about your legal rights or what the process looks like when you show up for your big day in court, head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight. Bob and his team are going to give you a free, no-obligation legal consultation. They'll walk you through the system. They'll explain your rights and get you ready for your big day in court. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com and get a free, no-obligation legal consultation tonight.
Hi, I'm Asher on summer break and about to start second grade. Thanks to awesome people like you who picked Aloe Fiber. They donated $193,000
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Is the Force strong with you? Find out this July with Project Solo. Find your favorite Star Wars cans of your favorite Coke products through July 31st. Stop by your local Hy-Vee and pick up 12 packs of Coke for just $3.99 when you purchase 4 between July 2nd through the 6th. Also pick up half-liter 6-packs with your favorite Star Wars characters for $3.99. 16-ounce body armor or 28-ounce Power Rate singles, just $1 all month long. Hy-Vee and Chesterman Coca-Cola, creating Jedi all over Nebraska.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Oh,
7:24 on a Friday night edition of the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You know, become number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your roof, your windows, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. We haven't done this in a while, and I just finished the TV series, so I need more stuff to watch. So we need to get your thoughts on what we want your thoughts on what you're watching. We're going to tell you what we're watching on television as well. Both of you guys know I'm a huge Marvel fan, and been severely disappointed by some of the stuff that they've put out recently. I just finished Ironheart last night.
Ironheart
is really, really good. Like, this is probably the best television show that Marvel and Disney have put out. That's including Loki. It's including WandaVision. It was fantastic. Huge spoiler at the end that I can't give away because there's six episodes. There's a character that a lot of people in Marvel have been waiting for that shows up at the end. And you're not going to be disappointed by it. It's fantastic. Dan, you and I talked about this last night.
Yes, we did.
It is my time to shine. It's Big Brother season. Big Brother.
Oh dear.
Season 27 started
Almost cut his
last
mic
night.
off.
The new house is amazing. This is going to be a really fun season. That's what I'm watching right now. John Schreiner, what are you watching on TV?
So obviously I've been in California for 5 days. So
TV's in California.
Yeah, but I was doing stuff. So when I came back, I realized that Squid Game had a new season.
I still haven't caught any of that yet.
Yeah, so I'll be checking that out. And then The Sandman, also on Netflix, has its final season up now. So
what's that one about?
It's based on this is problematic, a Neil Gaiman novel about I guess you'd call him an angel.
Okay.
And he is sort of the liaison between heaven and hell. And yeah.
Did Neil Gaiman do something, or did I miss?
Yeah, Neil Gaiman's had some allegations.
Okay.
And that's why the show is now in its final season, because
Fair enough.
He's not going to be employed to write the seasons coming up.
Probably shouldn't be either.
Probably shouldn't be.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Dan Campanen, what's going on in the Campanen household?
So in the Campanen household, there are two very specific genres of things that we watch. Things that
girl stuff and guy stuff.
Dan
That's what divides
and
my
Mary
house.
watch together, and things that Dan and Mary watch extremely separately. The final season of You is up on Netflix and has been for a little bit. I'm slowly piecing my way through that.
I gave up after season 3.
Season 4 is not off to a great start, but there is promise. There is interest there that I really appreciate.
First 2 seasons were great.
The new season of The Bear is absolutely spectacular. Definitely leaves you with a little bit of a cliffhanger. In a sense that
Spoiler alert.
They bring everything to an end, but not truly to an end. So you know that they're going to have another season because
That'd be the definition of a cliffhanger.
Christopher Storer likes money. And who doesn't agree with that sentiment? But didn't talk about this one last time. One of the greatest shows that I have watched in the last probably year, maybe 2, maybe even 5, is on FX, and it's called Say Nothing.
Okay. What's it about?
It is a sort of anthology series about famously there was a project done by Boston College where
We beat them in a bowl game. People forget.
Yes, we did. That's actually part of the reason why I started reading this book that it's based on, or not based on, that the book is about. They did a project at Boston College. They went over to Belfast, Northern Ireland, and they interviewed many a former IRA member. And the whole key point of this project was that none of this information will ever be made public. This is for private record and will be made public in like 2035 or 2050 after all of the participants in the audio recordings are dead. And this then sets up the show to have older versions of people and then the younger versions of them acting out these stories, which they're describing, which goes into extreme detail about some of the larger players in the IRA and gives a lot of background about the troubles in Northern Ireland during the latter part of the 20th century.
I'll tell you, the movie I introduced Reed to recently, this is kind of it's a movie, but we watched The Princess Bride together.
I think that's the first time you've actually given his name on this show.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was awesome. He loved it. The Princess Bride is great.
We sat down and watched the entire Lion King the other night.
Oh.
Never gets old. If you missed what we're watching, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It's brought to you by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. If you want to watch your golf game improve, we can't guarantee that, but we can guarantee you're going to look better out on the links. Get over to Jerry Ryan, buy yourself a Johnny O golf polo, and be the best dressed guy in your foursome out on the links this summer. You know how they know what they're talking about? They've been dressing Omaha for over 50 years. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Get yourself an updated polo today. How is the NCAA handling things? Now they've got some help with the College Sports Commission. We'll tell you on the other side of the break. 1620 The Zone.
Good evening, everyone. It is Dan Campanen here once again to remind you, one of the greatest ways that you can kick off your weekend on a Friday night is by heading over to Pepper Jack's Grill and trying some of their new sides like the jalapeno poppers or maybe the cheese curds, or maybe you even want to go with an old classic like their spectacular French fries. And of course, if you know me, I'm pairing it with my steak gunner Philly, and anyone else, you can pair it with a bowl, a rice bowl, a salad. There are plenty of options at Pepper Jack's to wet your whistle and to satisfy your stomach. So if you want to be just like me, Dan Campanen, why don't you head on over to Pepper Jack's Grill tonight?
Hi, I'm Asher on summer break and about to start 2nd grade. Thanks to awesome people like you who picked Allo Fiber. They donated $193,000 to schools like mine. This summer, I'm using my fast internet to keep learning, and I can't wait to tell my teacher everything I discovered. So if you're a grown-up picking internet, choose Allo, because Allo chooses us, our schools, our town, and our future. Go to allofiber.com to learn more.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$7:35 on a Friday night edition of the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You don't become #1 in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Check out PyramidRoof.com for a free estimate on your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out PyramidRoof.com tonight. There's some problems in college athletics. I don't know if you've heard about it. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Told you it was coming.
According to an anonymous SEC NIL collective operator, it's 1,000 times harder to recruit than it was 2 years ago. Completely unrelated news: the Big Ten has won 2 consecutive national championships in football. But according to On3 and Pete Nakos, he talked to a few sources within collectives and athletic departments around the country, and stating that basically nobody's paying attention to the clearinghouse. The clearinghouse and NIL Go have failed to approve several deals ranging from $1,000 to $150,000. Other collectives who chose to remain anonymous, with Pete Nakos as well and On3, said they haven't even submitted deals to the clearinghouse so far because, according to the source, deals aren't going to stop getting done. So if we're talking about, we talked about it earlier, the NCAA and the powers that be going to the government asking for help or asking them to step in and do this, you have people that aren't even following the rules. So when we talk about salary caps or the $20.5 million funds that are going to be available, or limiting NIL, or this clearinghouse that is clearly already a joke and not even being taken serious by the participating parties, I don't know how we put this toothpaste back in the tube. Because if it is, hey, here's the rules, you got to follow them, and everybody's going, no, we don't. You're not going to do anything if we don't do this. And by the way, and like, I think we're starting to see with Texas Tech getting a 5-star offensive tackle and winning a bidding war for that it's really insulting to everybody's intelligence to assume that the Ohio States, the Alabamas, the Texases of the world haven't been scoffing at the rules the entire time. They've just been so successful that when they're breaking rules, they're getting away with it because it's not raising any red flags, as to where Tennessee, when they're handing out McDonald's bags full of money, it gets caught. And I think that we're seeing this from the outside looking in at Pete Nakos' story on On3 and saying, well, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe these people aren't following the rules. I have a feeling things like this have been happening for a very, very long time.
Well, yesterday, the College Sports Commission basically neutered the collective model by saying that deals with a collective are not valid business and will not be approved, which is just like you're trying to completely cut out the collective, like
who have been helping these schools for the past
the collective
3 years,
ecosystem, right? And like I understand wanting to do that, I really do, because you think that that it's just pay for play, which it is. We all know that it is, and you're trying to cut that out of the game because you are holding on to some, I don't want to call it ridiculous, but old-fashioned notion of what college athletics used to be. And listen, there have been a whole bunch of lawsuits that have tried to tell you that it's not that way anymore, and you're grasping at straws to keep it the way it was. But now today, the big news with the College Sports Commission, Stuart Mandel just posted about it a little while ago. The plaintiff attorneys in the House case have come back and said, hold on. If the College Sports Commission is saying that collectives are not valid, that violates the House agreement.
Yep.
You can't do this.
Right. And it's one thing to come back and have pause and say, we need to regulate. Stop. Well, if you're going to do that, you better have enough manpower to be able to review these deals and get a response back to the people that are actually going through the correct channels and trying to do things the right way.
But they won't, because they've said that deals with collectives, they're never going to approve them.
No. I'm talking about the clearinghouse and NIL Go. If you're going to put this in,
which is part of the College Sports Commission.
Correct. But this is even before today. This is even before this news came out.
Yeah.
So their response, instead of getting some answers or trying to usher in this new era or try to at least facilitate what's going on, they're just shutting it down and saying, no, you figure it out. So I don't understand how you can be upset if you're the College Sports Commission if they're just going to do backyard deals and get you McDonald's bags full of cash anyway, because you're not helping. And I think it's a little negligent of the College Sports Commission to say, no, we're not going to have the collectives involved. You can either deal with the school or get these deals done yourself.
Or you have to deal directly with a legitimate business or quote unquote legitimate business.
Yeah. And listen, you're going to dictating what somebody's worth is. How are you going to be dictating what a legitimate business is also? And is this just, let's call it what it is. This feels like a way to make sure the right pockets are getting filled.
Well, what it is that they are holding on to the idea that we all had when we started thinking about NIL, that a college football player would get a deal with a fast food restaurant and he would appear in their commercials and they would name a sandwich after him and they would pay him $50,000
Remember
for
the
that.
Jeff Sims taco platter?
Right. That's what we all thought NIL was going to be. But much smarter business people than us said, hold on. We can do this a different way.
Yeah.
We're just going to pay the kids the money, own the name, image, and likeness, and then sell that to whoever. And that'll help the school because we like the school and we're going to help them get the right players on their campus.
Some of us have probably worked there before.
And so that's what NIL has become. The NCAA and the College Sports Commission doesn't like that. Even though they've been told in a court of law, it doesn't matter whether you like it or not.
It does kind of feel like they're being petty and they feel like they got outsmarted.
Oh, absolutely.
Now they don't want to be the dumbest guys in the room. That's what this comes across
It
as.
is absolutely them trying to regain control. They were like, they got knocked down a peg from their status, and now they want to jump right back up on that throne.
They're not Chumbawamba. They're not going to get back up again.
Great reference.
Thank you.
And
I'll be here all night.
I can't believe it, but like, have you not learned the lessons from the past?
Like, how many more lawsuits do you need to lose before this
all of
settles
them?
it?
Apparently, every one.
We got somehow this isn't our trash take tonight. We got to get to our trash takes. If you missed this segment, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by AX Plumbing, Homer Residential. They can do it all. Check out axpservice.com for all your plumbing, water heater, gas piping, or backflow prevention issues. They can also water jet your line to clear out those tree roots. Check out AX Plumbing at axpservice.com. Tonight we wrap up the show with trash takes on the other side of the break. 1620 The Zone.
I can't escape the double face. Don't want to listen to the
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Heat waves are crashing all over the Midwest. Beat the heat with Controlled Comfort. If your AC is aging and you have concerns, Controlled Comfort is your one-stop shop for all your HVAC issues. Let Controlled Comfort's comfort specialists come out, diagnose your issue, resolve it, or replace that old AC unit with one that'll keep you cool in the months ahead. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
It is closing time on a Friday night here on 1620 The Zone as we wrap up the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Bellevue University. And Papillion, and our friends at Pyramid Contractors.
Yeah, those guys.
Head over to pyramidroof.com. Book a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. It is time for our Papillion Sanitation Trash Takes tonight. What we will do here is we will all give you a hot take to wrap up the show. You will vote on a poll on Twitter who had the best take. The worst person who has the fewest amount of votes will have the worst take and the trashiest take of the night. John Schreiner, you said you want to start us off. Go ahead.
Okay, my trash take tonight, boys. Fish are jerks.
Good take. We've already talked about this earlier.
Fair.
So I was out in California for a little family reunion this past week, and we had the opportunity to go out to Catalina Island, not for the wine mixer, but
Catalina wine.
Went to the little snorkeling park there off the island, and I swam out, and I came face to face with a calico bass. It's about 18 inches long, really cool looking fish, black and gray, spotted.
Was the only thing that was 18 inches long, am I right?
And it was, I don't know what you're getting at, but it's just staring at me, and I'm looking at it through my mask, and I'm like, man, this is cool. I'm like just a few inches away from this fish, and I'm just watching it, and it's watching me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to move on. And so I stuck my hand out to swim by it, and this little jerk of a bass chomped down on my ring and pinky finger and scraped the skin off of both of them.
Were you worried about your ring?
I left my ring on the shore.
Good call.
I didn't want to drop it to the bottom of the ocean. So I took my ring off and left it in my bag. But so then I come out of the water and my hand is all bloody. And someone's like, what happened to you? I was like, a fish bit me.
Stories that will
Fish
last
are
for a
jerks.
lifetime. Dan Campinen?
As we all know, I'm a massive fan of the basketball franchise that is the Minnesota Timberwolves.
People forget.
Now, under new ownership, Mark Lore and Alex Rodriguez are already talking about many a thing to change the franchise, from updates and possibly a new stadium to even the second most important thing that I'll get to in this trash take. They're going to try to mend fences with Kevin Garnett.
Right
A
call.
much needed franchise cornerstone and my childhood hero. But the coolest thing that they are doing is instituting a new ticketing platform called Jump, which, among many other things, will allow fans to bid on tickets when fans vacate better seats early on in the game.
Ooh.
You want to get courtside seats? If they're vacated early, you get to click, bid, and they could be yours for a sliver of face value, according to one ESPN article. I am totally here for this. If there is one thing that I expected out of Mark Lore, of all people, owning this basketball team, it was true innovation in many a form. Ticketing was not one that I thought would ever change, but if this works and goes extremely smoothly, I'm here for it.
If they don't sign a deal with Crisscross, and every time you sign
Jump.
you get to purchase the ticket, you just get the jump in your phone. As soon as you do it, I'm going to be disappointed. My trash take of the night is I want to give a congratulations and a well-deserved to Creighton's Lucas Vargas. A lot of you know that on my Roll Jays podcast, Casey Matthews is my co-host. He's the former video coordinator at Creighton. He was replaced when he left the staff by Lucas Vargas, who's become a friend. And the news came out earlier today. Lucas is leaving Creighton University and he's taken a similar role with the Los Angeles Lakers. And
Awesome.
Want to give congratulations to him and his family, and a guy that has aspirations of being a head coach someday and has done all the right things and worked hard as anybody, if not harder, to get to where he is in the game. And just a very cool opportunity for him. Obviously, he's going to be very missed around these parts. he did his best to try to fill Casey Matthews' shoes, and I think a lot of people feel he exceeded expectations and is very deserving of this opportunity to go coach alongside J.J. Redick and get an opportunity to work with LeBron James and those guys, and is going to be with the Los Angeles Lakers proper. So congrats to him. And Lucas, you will be very missed around here, but we wish you nothing but the best. And good luck while you're out there. We got a few minutes left to fill for the end of the show. Is there anything else? You got the Scott Frost stuff off your chest.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to hit on that you missed a week's worth of shows for?
Yeah, it's hard to think. I mean, there was so much that came out of Big 12 media days, and I thought the comments from Cincinnati's head coach were pretty interesting, right? About how they feel like they have improved a ton, and they're coming into this game against Nebraska really looking to test themselves. I didn't know that Tawi Walker was their running back.
Yep.
I didn't realize that until I was reading that story. And like, I mean, did the comments that he made? I'm one of those people who thinks the media days are dumb and we never really get it.
Everyone's going to say we still suck and Nebraska's going to beat us by 40.
Yeah, but I don't know. Did the comments there and realizing the players that they have, did that make you think any differently about the Cincinnati game?
Well, not necessarily that, but the thing that came out from On 3, I think it was on not last Thursday, but the Thursday prior, were essentially like two of the national pundits for On 3 had them as like an 8 or 9 win team and maybe a dark horse in the Big 12. I think this team is going to be vastly improved from where they were a year ago. And there's, to your point, there's going to be a lot of new faces.
They beat Arizona State last year.
Yeah, people forget. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're a team by the end of the season. I'm not necessarily worried about them at the beginning of the season because new faces means you got some stuff to figure out along the way. I think the rest of the Big 12 should be slightly concerned about the Bearcats team come the end of the year, though.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I thought the comments about the venue were really interesting that he had as well.
I mean, they know it's going to be a 90% Nebraska partisan crowd, but I don't know if that's that much different in Cincinnati either.
I think,
but they gave up a home game for it. I'm sure he's not thrilled about that.
Just reading into the comments a little bit, I think he was severely disappointed that his athletic department made that deal to move it from Indianapolis to Kansas City, even though they're going to get more.
Doesn't matter.
They're getting more money out of the deal,
which is why they did it.
Which is why they did it, but. You know, from what he was saying, he was like, no, I would much rather have had that game closer to home. But would you have really had more Nebraska fans in Indianapolis?
Where they've been used to traveling anyway,
right.
by the way?
Like, I think you're still outnumbered even if the game's in Indianapolis.
The one thing, my biggest takeaway from the entire Big 12 Media Days weekend was how prevalent and present Cody Campbell was, the big-time donor for Texas Tech, who was just walking up and down Radio Row willing to talk to people because, hey, I paid money to be here and nobody's going to stop me. I think that we're very close to that becoming kind of a normal thing around college athletics. I don't know if we
where the big donor gets put front and center if they want to be.
And listen, if you're spending that kind of money, you probably want to be. Hey, if you missed any of the show tonight, I want to welcome John Schreiner back to the lounge. You can do so at SoundCloud.com/AfterHours1620. It was brought to you by Allo Fiber. Allo has been empowering communities in Nebraska since 2003, and they're partnering up with a familiar face. They're putting their Stack program with not only Allo Fiber, which is bringing an all-fiber network right up to your house. They're going to partner with DirecTV to give you great television options, and Allo Mobile is now a go. You can get all of your services, TV, internet, and mobile phone, all with Allo Fiber by heading over to allofiber.com/stack until Labor Day and get a great deal with Allo Fiber tonight. For Jimmy Allen, Dan Campen, and a returning John Schreiner, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy Pina Colada Day, everybody.
Coconut.
There's never been a better time to choose a new career path than right now. Hi, I'm Tracy with Papillion Sanitation. If you're at a point in your life where you want a career and not a job, Papillion Sanitation is the place for you. From 401k options to opportunities for career